There is only becoming.
There's only coming.
It's only coming.
What?
Wow. This was written?
We have to fucking describe this? How?
Dogs. They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
The vampire and lichen clans had been at war for centuries, turning our world into a battlefield. For me, the fight is personal. Everyone I've ever loved has been hunted down. Now a new war is being waged.
Celine, the lichens are moving again. They have a new leader, Marius.
I'm finished with this war.
Well, it's not finished with you. He wants the blood of you and your daughter.
Even I don't know where she is. I need you to deliver a message. Tell your Marius I'm coming for him. Do you understand your message?
We need Celine to end the war. She cannot be trusted.
She is the purest of us all.
She is the key to the futures of lichens and vampires. And when we have the blood of Celine and her daughter, we will be invincible.
I will be more powerful than any vampire in this coven.
You must help me protect her.
You must go north.
You will find answers there.
If you want to win this war, you will need to go further than even a warrior of your renown has ever ventured before.
They just killed Skrillex.
Impossible.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rough Cuts this week. We're gonna be doing... We've watched a few movies in a row that were all connected, and we decided to continue that because we watched Dragon Ball, The Magic Begins, and then we had to watch the sequel, Dragon Ball Evolution, and then we were like, okay, well, obviously we have to watch the sequel to Evolution, so we watched Underworld, Blood Wars, the sequel to Underworld Evolution. Right.
It's a sequel to Underworld Evolution. Technically, they're all connected if you think about it. See, here's my theory about the extended movie universe, where SpongeBob and the lichens...
Oh man, okay. Well, SpongeBob absolutely sucks blood. He's a sponge. He can suck it up. He's like the ultimate vampire. He's the originator.
No, he's the percolator. Anyway, welcome to this podcast, everyone.
This is our podcast about good boys and bad movies, where we talk about bad dog movies. All of these last three, the ones that I named, are dog movies.
They count, I guess. Yeah. There's good dogs in this movie.
I'm your host, Ilyon. This is my co-host, Boyks.
Hi.
I just realized I'm in my squeaky chair, so I'm just gonna...
The squeakiest of chairs, yeah.
I'm editing this one, so I need to get out of it. I'll do it for you, but I need to be in the non-squeaky chair for me.
So the important thing about Underworld Blood Wars is that it's like the fifth movie in the series, but technically the sixth if you count the 3-part anime OVA.
Yes. Yeah. It's too bad that we didn't get the universe where there was the I, Frankenstein, Blade, and Resident Evil crossovers that they
It would fit.
This is gonna be a hell of an episode, as I'm just like, it's fuck it. I'm just gonna, in the middle of my recording, change my chair and talk about it, because that's the level of this episode.
Well, okay, first we need to understand the order of the story that we watched, right? So
yeah, you go ahead and explain it.
We specifically watched Blood Wars. Underworld as a series is about how Kate Beckinsale looks hot in tight leather pants.
This is extremely true on both levels.
And also there's werewolves and vampires or whatever.
Whatever. Who gives a shit about that?
And Evanescence music.
I don't think they had in this one. I'm annoyed about that.
I don't think they had music in this movie.
There was no music. Yeah, it was just like the very generic background music, right? Like
Yeah.
There's no soundtrack even to this.
There was gun noises, a lot of them.
See, like Underworld Awakening, the one before this, soundtrack soundtrack in order. First song, Made of Stone, Evanescence, boom, done.
You nailed it.
The Cure, Lacuna Coil, like bam, bam, hit. What is happening?
I'd say this must be a lower budget, but with the CG they spent, it can't be. So
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They had the budget for. Yeah. Oh, it's way lower. Oh my god, it's way lower. That makes sense.
They didn't want to pay for the licensing fees.
Yeah, the budget for Awakening. God, this is going to be depressing. Without looking it up, what do you think the budget for Awakening was?
$12 million.
70 million.
Okay.
And then this one had half of that budget, so only 35.
Okay.
Only 35 million.
So let's talk about the order.
Yeah.
So in chronological
1886? Order, that's like about vampires and werewolves, right?
No, not the order 1886. That's a video game nobody's played.
Oh, and this is a movie that nobody's watched that looks like a video game that nobody's played.
Yeah. So the first Underworld movie in the series, chronologically, is Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which is a 2009 prequel sequel.
Wait, right? What? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Chronologically.
Okay,
sure.
If we're talking about the lore of Underworld.
Gotcha, okay.
So this is actually the third film in the series, but the first chronologically.
Yes, yeah.
Next comes part 1 of the anime. And then part 2 of the anime, Endless War, which is shot basically like the Castlevania anime.
The Castlevania anime is pretty good. I'm sure the Underworld one's just...
Yeah. So after part 2 of the Underworld anime is the original Underworld. Uh-huh. And then Underworld Evolution, which is the second movie in the series.
Okay, wait. Then the third part of the anime?
Then the third part of the anime.
Oh my god.
They skipped 2 movies in the anime. And then Awakening, which we just mentioned, is the movie prior to this, the 4th movie.
Yeah.
And then Blood Wars. So technically, there's 7 movies before this one, if you count each part of the anime as a separate film.
Cool.
Like, so, of course, the film had to give us a recap.
Did it?
To begin with. And it puts so much on screen, and so many jargon words and things that happened, that I didn't catch any of it. I just saw, that's from Underworld 1.
Well, so here's my brief look at all of this that is very, very, very funny to me. Because you just talked about all of this lore of this series and all the things that are going on. Throw it all the fuck away, because none of it is relevant to this movie.
Oh no, none of it's relevant.
Absolutely none of it. This is not the culmination of a long epic story. This is just another one.
That was in fact the little quote they gave for the film on Amazon is the next Underworld movie.
That's the synopsis.
Nothing else.
That's just what it says. It says the next installment in the Underworld franchise.
And they weren't incorrect.
No. That's the best way to describe this. That's the reason, in fact, I'm gonna part the kimono, as people say. God, I hate that saying. Go behind the curtain.
Oh, don't worry. I think Samira was doing that too.
Oh, she wasn't wearing enough for it to be a kimono, please. But I'm just gonna go behind the scenes here real quick. The reason that Boyks is talking about all of this is because Boyks has no fucking idea how to talk about this movie.
How do we talk about this movie?
Because there's nothing that happens in this movie.
Things just happen, but none of it matters. So I don't.
There's a lot of things that happen, and everybody is betraying everybody at all times, but also not for any reasons.
No.
There's no reasons for the betrayal.
It's like you put a kid on the playground, and it's like, okay, now you do this, and you do that, and then I'll do this because I'm the strongest. Yes. But then when you do that, I'll get more powers, which makes it even stronger, and then I'll beat you.
But that 8-year-old has also seen Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones is the fucking coolest.
And Resident Evil. And they love the Resident Evil movies. Yeah.
This one is Underworld Game of Thrones, though, because there is...
It is.
So it has Charles Dance, who apparently is reprising a role from the last movie, which is wild to me. But then he... Like, there's also... God, there's a few people that were from Game of Thrones. Oh, right, one of... I was going to say the villain, but I'm like, wait, no, there's multiple villains, so I guess the... bad guy werewolf, Marius is also a Game of Thrones actor. Tobias Menzies, who plays Edmund Tully in Game of Thrones. And like, there's all these weird connections. There's another couple of background actors, too, that were from it. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head now. There was a bunch, though.
It can't be Game of Thrones. Then they would, they'd have like a Jon Snow. They go to the wall.
Yeah, they go to like a weird northern fortress that has like a big ice wall, and they'd have like a destined leader who gets like a special sword who has unknown parentage.
And then like a throng of enemies that can't survive in that climate would just attack the fort.
Yeah.
And being attacked by like swords and bows while they have guns for some reason.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Season 8 gets weird. That's why people didn't like it.
You know, I don't know why Game of Thrones didn't add guns. It would be way cooler.
It'd be pretty cool. Imagine UV bullets in Game of Thrones. The White Walkers wouldn't stand a chance. Speaking of bullets, all right, so
oh my God.
We start out this movie with Celine, who is Kate Beckinsale, the main character of Underworld. She is Mrs. Underworld.
The young hot action star.
Oh my God. She is, listen... It's annoying to me because I think that without makeup, Kate Beckinsale is still fucking gorgeous. Like,
oh sure,
she's a really good-looking woman, and they like cake her in so much makeup. She looks like she's made of porcelain. Like she is just like she's Barbie doll.
Well, if they desaturate every scene and make it really dark, you probably won't notice.
Right? Because she's almost 50 in these movies. Yeah. Like, at this point, she's getting up there. So, like, they want her to be 20 still. And it's like, hey, she's great looking. She doesn't need to be 20.
I guess if it's a direct continuation of the movies from 2003, like, I mean, a little bit of props,
but she had a 14-year-old
I suppose, but... Yeah.
She's got a child in this who's, like, fully grown. So it's not like she's supposed to just... I mean, I guess she's a vampire. She's not supposed to age, maybe.
Vampires don't age, yeah.
But they do. They have kids in this. They just have children.
I get... Vampires, as we learned from Van Helsing, they lay eggs. Just like dogs.
Yes, on the roof.
Like the Howl dog.
Yeah. They climb on the roof and with their, like, paw pads that suck to things, and then they lay their gross sticky eggs all over the roof. Yeah.
So you're not supposed to think about things in this movie. You're supposed to be sitting there looking at it and be like, God, that's hot. Oh my God, that vampire is hot.
Oh my God, that's hot.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to think about this. This isn't important.
And by this, you mean literally anything else besides, man, this is hot.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you stopped me from picking out the movie that you mentioned yesterday to me when we were playing a game together.
We are not watching that movie.
That starred Dustin Diamond and Ron Jeremy because it was actual porn. But this is not far removed, really.
This is not too far from porn, but it's like edgy goth porn for, I don't know, like, I don't want to say teens, but
it's not for teens. It's not.
It's for like 20-somethings.
It's for like 20-year-olds. Yeah, I would say that's probably true. Anyway, so we start out with Celine being... God, we just can't talk about this movie.
We have to fucking describe this. Celine is the girl from Resident Evil who has superpowers because she has the T virus.
Yes. That's basically what this is, yeah.
And everybody wants her blood so that they can get the T virus, which raises werewolves from the dead, like zombies, but they're alive and normal and okay.
No, it raises vampires from the dead. Like
vampires from the dead?
Because she raised up the son of the last guy, of Charles Dance. She raised up Charles Dance's son. who is a
using
vampire.
her blood.
Because her blood is...
Because she has
very
superpower
cool.
blood or
Her
something?
blood is very cool. I think that there's stuff in the other movie that makes her blood extra special somehow.
Like, does she just keep getting powers throughout the story?
This
just keeps accumulating. That is how Resident Evil.
It's literally
work,
the OVAs too. Like, I mean,
Okay.
this is extremely like an anime at this point. Where yes,
It
I
is
think that
very
she
anime.
just. I mean, she gets a power up in this movie.
She does, yeah.
That is totally unexplained and unearned. Like, it is exactly the worst kind of anime power up.
The dude that she revives is called David, and he is actually in Underworld 1. He's in that first movie.
What?
So this is, I think, a return of that character, if not just a long-running character in the series.
Because I think that's a long-running character because he was in the last movie also. Like, I think that's where he gets resurrected. I didn't realize that he was.
This is just a character in the Underworld series. And we missed the 7 movies in between that explain how we got to this point, because they sure didn't say it in the recap. But, anyways, Celine gets attacked by werewolves in a tunnel, like a vehicle tunnel.
Yeah, she's being chased because everyone wants her blood, because she's
they want her blood, which in the first Underworld movie, everybody wants this guy's Michael's blood, and then she becomes an outcast because she tries to survive him, and the werewolves don't like that because they want to kill him, and the vampires don't like that because they want to kill Michael, so then she becomes an outcast from society and has to run away from everybody. She hasn't moved fucking anywhere.
No. Yeah.
In 5 movies.
It's
the same thing.
This is devouring its own tail. Or its own ass, probably. That's hot, man.
So she kills, like, all the werewolves, and one of them gets hit by a car. The dog gets hit by the car.
The dog gets hit by a car. It's a dog movie. We told you it's dog movies. Dog movie, baby. They hit that dog in the car instantly. Tropes.
One of the werewolves didn't die, so he shoots David in the foot, which then drills its way up to his stomach.
Yeah, they totally show him get shot in the leg, and then 2 minutes later it's in his stomach, which is... But I guess that actually kind of makes sense considering where they go with it.
I guess, yeah. They never use this again, so I don't know why they bothered introducing it. But, so, Celine then goes up to the guy who is already basically dead, that shot David, and she's like, hey, I want you to give a message to your leader, Marius, who I will name, and he's new in this film, and everybody keep note.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this is a long-standing Underworld character then, obviously. Like, the culmination of a few movies where it's like, oh, this is the really bad guy, because they make it like this huge thing. Oh, Marius, the leader of the werewolves, who's been fighting this war forever against the vampire. No, he's a new character. He's just a new guy.
Just a guy.
He's the guy. Yeah. They just introduce him in this movie. But they just act like he's been there the whole time.
So, like, she sends this guy back to go talk to Marius and give him a message saying, hey, fuck off. Yes. Which I don't know why she bothered to send that.
You'd think that killing them would also send that message. The other thing is, she doesn't quite just say it that way. She goes, I need you to send a message to him. Grunt if you can understand.
Oh, yeah, there's the Dom sub grunting.
And then he grunts at her, but then she talks to him, and he just talks. Then they just talk, and it's like, you could just ask him to say yes. You could speak English.
But it wouldn't be sexy.
You got me. I don't know what's sexy.
So then they go back to Celine's lab, I guess.
There's a safe house. They say that there's some safe house? I don't know.
And they're trying to dig the bullet out of David, which she does, but it's actually a drill bullet that's drilling through his body.
And that's
quick enough to stop his regeneration.
Yes, and that's how it's going to kill him. But it's not going to kill him because it was actually a tracer bullet that they can use to track him. So why would it kill him?
For convenience.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Plot convenience.
And she has to do a surgery on him. And specifically, she has to do a surgery on him. Well, he's very shirtless and shredded.
So she can touch his chest the whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I said, this movie is about, that's hot. It's not about the plot.
It's all about her getting inside of David here.
But because of the tracer round, two evil people show up, I guess. It's like Alexa and a werewolf or something. I don't know who. 2 vampires.
Well, that's not because of the Tracers, because the Tracers from the werewolves. The vampires know that they're there because it's a vampire hideout, so they have... The vampires have, like, super high-tech cyberpunky shit all over the place. That's the other thing about... If you don't know the Underworld series, it is the Matrix on cocaine. Like, it's so unbelievably... Everything is so dark and leathered and, like, day-for-nighted that it's really weird looking. And then they add to that with everybody has... iPads everywhere. Blue iPads specifically.
Sure.
Like every program, blue. It's gotta be like that. Like, because it can't be too bright. You gotta have dark themes if you're gonna make programs for the vampire horde, okay?
It's very video game coded.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, they have a Mexican standoff in the funniest way possible. Where, like, Kate Beckinsale, Celine, like, pulls a gun on a guy, and then a guy pulls a gun on her, and then David pulls a gun on that guy, and it all happens in, like, a second.
Yeah, they go, no you. It's just like, like that fast.
It's like a bit in another movie.
It looks like a fucking joke. We laughed so goddamn hard when that came up, because it's just...
It's so dumb. But like, they're not there to kill Celine, don't worry. They're there to invite her to a birthday party.
Yeah, we need you for our cool birthday bash.
We have a bouncy castle and cake. You will show up, Celine.
Please, this is the party committee, Celine, and you are invited.
And then she's like, should we go? And David's like, yes.
It's a party.
They have to invite us because it's a birthday party. And the law says they can't hurt us while we're there. And vampires would never break the law. Fucking dumbass.
Yeah. And while they're having their Mexican standoff,
it's so dumb.
It just expands outwards immediately.
It's like 20 guys.
Infinite regression standoff. You then suddenly have... Alexa, sorry, not that Alexa, the other Alexa that they have, their vampire Alexa that warns them of the dawn, goes, intruders detected. And it shows all the werewolves coming in, because the werewolves have now traced them down, and they're coming in to kill them, so they all escape.
So they can have a fight scene, yeah. But then they decide to go to the vampire hideout.
Yes.
And they show up, and it's like a Met Gala, like a ball.
Yes, yeah.
Which is very, very 2000s coded. And our other main villain, Samira, who is a lady vampire, shows up, and she's like, "Oh, hello, welcome, Selena, to the party. Am I welcome? Am I?
Am I welcome?" And she goes, "Am I?"
Like, okay.
And then they literally invited you. Yes, that's what that means.
That we sent you a fucking invitation.
You responded. The date and
time.
You RSVP'd yes. Like.
And then it hard cuts to Samira getting oral from her fuckboy.
Yeah. As she monologues, she delivers the vagina monologue.
It's literally a vagina monologue.
And we're not kidding, like, it was very funny, because she goes, "Shut up and do me," and, like, shoves his head down forcefully to suck her off while she continues villain monologuing, and you go, is he? And I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely. And then they cut to it so that you know 100% unambiguously that he is absolutely...
And, like, good for her.
Good for her.
She found a fuckboy, and he's willing to go down, and hell yeah.
God.
I don't know what this has to do with anything, but thank you.
Well, it's hot.
So the real reason they invited Celine to the birthday bash is because they wanted her to play laser tag with all of their, like, Skrillex imposters.
Yes. So that she can train them, because they're worried that they can't beat Marius. It was Marius, right? Yeah, Marius.
Yeah, Marius. The new werewolf guy.
The new werewolf guy that they introduced from this movie. And they're like, oh my god, all of the other vampires have died to him. Like, we're going to lose this war, so we need her to train up all these people. And then 5 seconds later, she goes, no, we didn't actually need that. I just wanted to kill her.
No, I just want to kill her. But that's specifically because the fuckboy gets her to go into the cage match that he invented, which is just a cage.
Yeah, he goes, I invented this exercise and this machine so that we can fight in close quarters. It's just a cage. It's a cage. It's a cage.
But he gets her in and he poisons her, and then as he's about to kill her, they decide, nah, we're just gonna kill all these Skrillex cosplayers. And then blame it on her, which is way fucking less convenient. They just killed Skrillex. He had the same hair and everything.
It seems like a really bad idea. Because oh god, Samira... You can forgive me for forgetting her name, because the subtitles also forget her name.
The subtitles are really bad in this.
We should mention the subtitles constantly do grammatical and named character mistranslations. So, like, her name is Samira, Semira, or Sumira, or Samira. We don't know, because it's spelled all of those ways in the subtitles at various points.
Samira wants to, I guess, implicate that Selena killed these recruits while also draining of her of her super blood so she can drink it, which has now been intoxicated by poison because of fuckboy.
Yes.
Are you following along?
Oh, there's so much plot that is so not any plot.
And then David and his dad from Game of Thrones show up because of the alarm goes off saying, alarm, alarm, Alexa has run an alarm. If you want this alarm to turn off, please say. And they go through a hidden wall, like, passageway, like a Frankenstein castle.
Yes.
In an amusement park.
That he knows about because... So anyways, so they go to this secret passageway that he knows
the dad, like, lifts up a sliding thing.
Peephole.
To look through a painting with his eyes, like it's a joke.
Yeah.
And he sees Selena in a room getting her blood drained, so they open up that room and start removing the stuff from her so they can take her out.
Yeah.
And free her. But then, I guess, is it Fuckboy and...
Yeah, Fuckboy and Samira show up, so Charles Dance has to fight them and exit the movie fighting. Because, oh my god, he really, really, really does not want to be in this movie anymore. He's Charles fucking Dance, my god. Also, I want to say really quickly here, this movie has a lot of problems. The action, the subtitles, the, like, just way everything's shot cheap, like, the plot. The actors are all really good.
The actors are good, but they're not given a lot to work with.
No, but it's just funny that, like, there's all of these, like, really good character actors, like Charles Dance, and, like, the woman that's Samira is also, her name is Laura Pulver. She's from, like, she was in the BBC Sherlock. I don't think BBC Sherlock is pretty good, but it has good actors in it. Like,
was she the one that told them they should do all the, like, floating math and stuff and he's thinking, or
I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
But she's in, like, a bunch of things. Like, she's won, like, Olivier Awards. Sure. Like, she's a real actress. Like, they're not necessarily huge names, but they're all of these, like, really, really good character actors that have won, like, huge stage awards and stuff for years. And then they're in this pile of shit. And they're doing, like, these big Shakespearean monologues, so it kind of makes sense.
That's the problem. But the scenes where they're using them is just walking down a hallway doing a monologue or having a back and forth where nothing is important and nothing matters.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not given a moment to really do anything interesting.
No. And I mean, the plot itself is so irrelevant, which is... Yeah. We'll get to that soon because everybody, like I said, there is just betrayal on betrayal with absolutely no purpose or rhyme or reason to any of it. Because, so, Charles Dance dies. The David grabs her and runs out into the sunlight. And they go, oh my god, they can last even in the sun because of their super blood. Because he also has super blood because she gave him blood to resurrect him. Sure,
because he got resurrected with their superpower blood, yeah.
And
now they're daywalkers.
They drive a car off of the property, and then the vampires go to hunt them down afterwards, because now the vampires are also after them because they think they're traitors. And one of them, I have to mention this because it was so fucking funny to me. They open that scene of them finding the car abandoned, and a guy goes and rubs a, latex hand, because of course it's all rubber and leather, across, the wet car, and then licks it, and then goes, she was here. And I'm like, wait, what?
He knows her taste.
From the water on the car?
Yeah, because it was a sex thing.
The car
because
fucker.
he knew her taste because she's a car fucker. Yeah.
It's just fucking weird.
What they find out is that Celine took a train.
Yes.
To Georgia. No, you see, the vampire Superblood went down to Georgia to fight the devil in a violin match.
That would have been a more interesting movie. I'd see that movie.
But no, she takes the train to the north, to the cold outpost
of
far away of peace lovers who will never fight and hate violence, who also live atop of an ice wall. Stop me if you've heard this one.
And it's a legendary fortress that people aren't even sure exists anymore.
And they're outcasts, and
so they do this a lot in this movie, same with Marius, where it feels like, because they keep on referencing it and they go there's this really legendary outpost, or there's this legendary figure who's done all of these things, and we didn't even think they existed anymore, or you thought we killed them in an earlier movie, and it has that feel to it. And then you look at it and it goes, oh no, it's just made up for this movie. Oh, this isn't a culmination thing. This is, shit, we've got to make another one of these things. What's
popular this year? Oh, Jon Snow.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll throw in a northern fortress. Yeah. So they go to, and they specifically talk about how peace-loving they are.
They love peace so much that they're unwilling to fight, and they have isolated themselves from all the other vampires and the werewolves, and they want nothing to do with any of it.
Correct. And we're getting that from Samira is now talking to Alexa.
Yeah.
Who is, by the way, played by Daisy Head, Anthony Stewart Head's daughter, which was weird. And they have a little sexy time for themselves. That's very implied.
Of course.
Because of course, every single time there are two characters on scene, there's implied sexy time.
I assume every scene starts with two characters fucking off screen.
Yes. That is exactly the energy that every scene has.
Yeah.
And she is well, I thought that was only a legend, so she's I need you to go there and be my spy and find out what's going on and try and infiltrate the fortress and get Selena back or whatever. And then it cuts to, and she gives her all this information. So then it cuts to Marius, the vampire leader, the werewolf leader. God, there's so much plot.
I don't know how you're having trouble keeping track of this. I don't.
There's there's 24 characters that are all equally important, but none of them are important. Marius is talking to his horde and going well, we can't destroy the Eastern Covenant. It's too powerful. We can't possibly assault it. Even though my horde is almost unstoppable, the vampires are still too strong. We need to find Selena's daughter for her blood. Because that's the other thing is Selena has super blood, but her daughter has super extra blood.
Yeah, like the T-Virus Plus.
Yes. But so they want Selena's blood, but they even want her daughter's blood even more. Both sides,
or whatever.
So,
but Selena doesn't know what happened because her daughter's gone, and also Michael, who was her love interest in the previous movies, is dead.
Well, she doesn't know he's dead. She says he's gone. He dies off-screen. They reveal his death in an off-screen flashback at the end of this movie. It's amazing. But as the main character of the series.
But Marius is boning Alexa is the important
Yes,
part.
exactly. He goes on about how he absolutely has to have this blood. There's no way that he can assault these fortresses without the blood because he's not nearly strong enough, and he's fucking Alexa.
Yeah. Because they're working together against Samira.
Betrayal! And against everybody.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Why is she doing this? Why is she betraying them to be with him?
Oh, because he's hot.
Yeah, like, that's not the only reason I can think, right? Like,
that's as far as they got on that one, yeah.
Why does she want to help him take over? Why does he want to take over?
Anyway.
So, she's betraying everybody, and she goes up to the north to see them, and Selena and David, God, I keep forgetting his name.
Just Celine.
Right.
But Celine and David go to the North Fortress, and they meet the... Swedes.
Yes. They meet Vikings.
They meet Vikings who are all white-haired goddesses.
Yeah.
And except for the bald guy who's from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
You might remember him from Game of Thrones. It's not him, but it looks like him, and whatever.
I'm pretty sure he is actually a character actor from Game of Thrones.
Probably. But anyways, the reason they're up there is to avoid being detected. But also, it just so happens coincidentally that this coven in this fort above an ice wall was created by David's ancestors. And his mother, who is also a high, noble.
She's the most elder vampire of all elder vampires. Not the other ones.
This is a big twist, because David thought he was a bastard son. And no, he's an actual lineage to the throne of Game.
Yes. Even though he was already the son of king, basically, which was Charles Dance, but
his mother was also...
But now he knows his mother was also that, so he's extra special, I guess?
Which means he's next in line to the vampire throne or something?
This coven wouldn't exist without your mother's grace.
You knew my mother?
All vampires do, my boy.
No, my mother was lowborn. She died giving birth to me.
A falsehood, you will find, designed to keep your true lineage safe.
He's a prince, too? And also, here's the silver sword that kills werewolves, and they're scared of it, but every time you pull it out on screen, they won't be.
Correct, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
What?
They do this big thing about how, this sword is so legendary, and oh my god, it strikes fear into all the werewolves. And then they just never mention it again.
No.
I mean, he uses it, but it's not like anybody goes, oh my god, the legendary sword. No. No.
And before you head out, David, take this orb. You will need it in your time.
Take your mother's anal beads.
Your mother's anal orbs, I guess.
It's just an orb. It's just orb.
And then they also gave him a ring, which has the only drop of blood of his mother's blood in existence.
The ring is inside the orb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also... Coincidentally, vampires in this world, when they drink blood, they get the memories of vampires.
Or anyone.
So if you drink your mother's blood, you'll know that I wasn't lying to you, bro. It was true, bro. Come on, bro. Just believe me, bro.
Drink the blood, bro. So it's got the only drop of blood, the final drop of blood of the legend, the one final legendary drop of Amelia's blood inside of this ring in the center of this orb. So he drinks it and goes, oh my god, I am king.
And now I can be the return of the king. Wait.
Yeah.
And anyways, it hard cuts to Celine watching one of the white-haired vampires bondage up a lady into mummy bondage and hang her from the ceiling, non-sexually.
This was actually cool as a, thought for a second. I'm like, oh, it's kind of neat as an idea to think of vampires as almost weird spiders and imagine
it was weird spider stuff.
Because you could almost do a clan of vampires that almost is because they're not spinning silk or anything. They wrap them like that and then hang them from the ceiling. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing where they'd almost drink them like an actual animal in the wild. And then they do nothing with it. They just do nothing with it. And they don't explain any of it.
The reason they do that is because they get them high on drugs. and then they can have a trip.
Joe Rogan vampire is like constantly just like, no, Celine, no, you don't understand. If you take DMT just once, it'll change your whole life. I've done DMT like 12 times, and it takes me to the sacred world every time, and you will not be the same after you go to the sacred world. You'll just... Trust me, you just gotta try it, bro. You just gotta try it. Try it, bro. Try it.
The leader of the fort is like, by the way, the Lycans can never attack because we're so far north that they would never survive the weather. And then the Lycans attack.
Intruder alert. Lycans attacking.
And the reason they can attack is because they wore parkas and snow boots.
Yes!
Which, like, you can think of that?
It's too cold here for them. They can't do it. Also,
what?
The other thing is, for me, I'm like, wait, why could werewolves that have literal fur coats built into them not manage...
Why would they need a coat?
In a snow.
Well, they're not transformed into werewolves when they get there in their parkas. Like, you can't just be a werewolf all the time. Is that the rule? Can you just be a werewolf whenever you want? Or only when it's convenient for a fight scene?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's the other thing. It's not like there's anything to the moon for these werewolves.
No.
Like, they just choose when they transform.
But they're the weakest when they transform because they're weak to silver or whatever. I don't know.
I think they're always weak to silver. They don't explain any of that.
Or whatever.
But also, like, a ton of people aren't weak to any of the actual weaknesses of their things.
But anyway, the snow wolves show up with Marius, and then they have a big battle with the peace-loving, very well-equipped army.
Yes. These vampires that absolutely are peace-loving cowards that do not want any kind of fight, but they are the best warriors that you've ever seen.
Well, they're Vikings, so
yeah.
It makes sense. And at some point, Celine and Marius end up like jumping off of the castle to have their own little battle.
Have their little fight scene, yeah.
And then they fall off the ice wall to the other side, which is a lake that's frozen. And they have a fight on the lake.
And she even says at this point, because he, like, transforms but keeps a very weird, really gross, gigantic, like, bobblehead of his own head instead of a vampire. A werewolf head. Like, and she goes, "What the hell are you?" And it's like, "Oh, big secret. Oh, Marius isn't who he says he is. Oh, he's got like some hidden thing. Ooh, plot." And then he just drops it and just kills her.
And then Alexa kills her.
Right.
Because Alexa just shows up suddenly behind her, so we can't see her with the camera.
Nothing personnel, kid. Again, there's a lot of, like, teleports behind you and stabs you.
There is a lot of teleports behind, but also the Vikings can just teleport behind you.
Correct.
When their meter fills.
Well, so can Celine later on.
Eventually.
She also gets teleport powers.
So as Celine is dying, Alexa drinks her blood and is like, oh, Celine actually doesn't know where her daughter is.
And they go, oh no, our whole plan, we can't find her daughter, we can't get the special blood that'll let us assault these fortresses. Like the fortress we just assaulted and won.
And then as they're whining about that, Celine, like, grabs a bit of ice and ducks under it. As she's sitting there freezing to death, she's like, now what, fucker?
Yeah, basically flips them off. And
she flips him with both birds as she's, like, freezing under the ice. I'm like, okay, man.
What? It is a hilarious scene. Like, she just lifts up part of the ice floe and just, like, slides under, like, really casually. And it's the most... It's so indescribable. It's such a weird fucking moment. It's so dumb.
It's real dumb. And then it cuts back to Samira, who is now drinking Celine's blood, because they had to dilute the poison from it first.
Or something.
And then as she's drinking it, she throws 90% of the blood on the ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't drink it.
She takes like a sip and then spikes the rest of it on the ground, shattering this just
as like fuckboys in the background shivering in fear at his dommy mommy.
I loved Fuckboy. He's so fucking funny.
And then Alexa shows back up and is like, oh yeah, we attacked the Coven and we super won. Definitely didn't run away. The werewolves are gone or whatever. And also Celine's dead. And I don't know where David went.
Yeah. She also does that before she goes there. It shows her coming in and snapping the neck of a guard.
Just for no reason.
Who's watching, who's watching security cameras. Yeah. Which, okay, does neck snapping kill vampires? I guess.
Everything kills vampires.
Everything kills vampires, everything kills werewolves, except nothing
matter.
does.
It doesn't matter.
She does that, and you're like, oh, she's getting them ready for an attack. But then it has no consequence. They never go back to that at all.
And then Samira is like having a big evil villain talk of, yes, information's so important. And the most important thing in all of power is information. And I have information about you fucking that werewolf. You dumb idiot. You moron. You buffoon.
Anyways, let me lick all over your face and give you some sexy time. And then I'll kill you.
Because we need to get that on camera.
We gotta have it caught. It's gotta be hot first.
Gotta be hot. So
she's wearing nothing but fishnet in this scene too.
It's just
her
fishnet.
Gown is incredible.
The outfits are something. They're something.
Might as well just be naked for half this movie.
So then she goes to the Vampire Council, and she's still trying to get them to do her will. They won't. So then she reveals that she has power over all of the military vampires.
Sure.
And they all put guns on the council. But then David shows up, just walks in.
And he goes, I'm Jon Snow.
I'm also here. I'm Jon Snow. And also, I am a highborn noble, and I lead this, not you.
Yeah, and they're like, well, how would we possibly know that you're actually the son of Amelia? And you drank her last drop of blood. How are we supposed to know? And then he opens up her anal orb and goes, well, actually, there's 20 liters of blood in here. And gives blood to everybody. He just starts
the
passing
ring had
out.
A single drop of her blood. And also these 20 vials.
And also these 30 different vials that you can just pass around to share around. There's lots to go. Don't worry about it. You can
puff and pass.
Because a bunch of them are it's not he took a single drop. He's tonguing it out of this ring, this tiny little speck of thing, blood in there. And then he's got these gigantic vials that everybody's shotgunning. They're these, and you're like, wait, why does everyone else get more blood? Why does he got so much blood now? He's got 3 liters of blood.
This is also mid-Samira betrayal of killing the council.
Yes. This is literally they've got guns on them when he comes in, and then they put guns on him, and she's like, kill him, and they just go, nah, let him cook.
Let him cook. And then the council's like, no, he is the real leader. He's the true blood.
I also just realized the thing. Hold up.
Yeah.
Why they only need the 1 drop of blood? They don't need the extra vials. Because
they could just drink from his blood.
Yeah! I just realized that. I'm like, wait a minute.
I know.
Wouldn't they just be able to, once he has the memories, can't they just drink his blood? Whatever. Okay, fuck
no,
it.
It's more convenient if they have 20 vials in that ring. So all the council says, no, he's telling the truth. He's actually our king, Jon Snow.
Yes.
And then all the vampires that were going to betray the council is like, well, they wouldn't lie.
And the fuckboy, she goes well, kill them. And he's like, actually, I did say that I was going to serve the leader of this coven. And since that's not you, I'm now his fuckboy. And leans into Jon Snow.
You know that's what he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%.
He is just David's fuckboy.
He's like, oh, no. See, I pledged my fuckboyness to the house. And since you're no longer the house, bye-bye, bitch.
Take her away.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her anymore.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So they lead her away, but not in restraints or anything, and they lead her to a prison where they show a shot of her looking up to all of the armory that's on the wall,
all the
right next
on the
to
wall
her.
For her to kill them with.
Yeah. Yes. So good. It's so good. It's such a fucking stupid movie.
So then the werewolves attack, and their major plan is to use a big cannon to shoot holes in the wall.
But wait, how can they attack? They didn't have the power to attack without the blood of...
Oh, they're just here now.
Oh no, don't worry about it. They're fine.
Yeah, because Marius is here now too. Whatever.
Marius has more than enough power to do it. Of course he did. He always did.
Yeah. He
just said that because it was...
Shit.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Does he care about his lover/spy being killed? And that's why he's mad and he's here? No. He never mentions her again. Nobody mentions her again.
And then it also cuts back to Celine being wrapped up like a mummy and getting super high. Because she didn't die.
Because she didn't die, but because it was also the cold water that lets them go to the sacred world, and so that's what she was going to the sacred world in the cold water.
They
but
were
also it shows
baptizing her, right?
But also it shows her mummifying. So wait, did they drag her out and then do it?
I guess. Whatever.
Anyway, she's getting a power up.
Yeah, she's powering up. Like, getting a new power. She got a new orb that gives her a new ability. She put, like, points into it.
She's training on King Kai's planet.
I guess. And then David and Marius have a yelling match while they're shooting each other at point-blank range with their weaknesses, but neither of their weaknesses are working.
Yeah, and it has this incredible moment of them just, like, they both have machine guns, and they're just unloading on each other from literally 6 inches away. Yeah. Like, they are putting the muzzle to the other person and just brrr, and then it just goes and it shows all of the bullets falling out of them, both of them, like hundreds of bullets, and you're like, hell yes, cinema,
gaming,
finally.
Gaming. And then as they're fighting, Celine shows up, but now her hair is kind of frosted.
Yeah,
it has highlights.
Yeah. She turned white and got power.
No, not like that.
Not like that. No.
She's a Viking now.
She now has white. They literally give her frosted tips.
They do just.
They literally frost her tips.
And this gives her the power to teleport, like the peace-loving vampires. But only when it's convenient. And then she also brought with her all of the peace-loving army that doesn't want to do any combat and wants nothing to do with the vampire werewolf war.
Yep.
And they're here to kill shit.
They're here to wreck some fucking shit up, baby! Yeah, Vikings!
And she basically gets her powers off screen and then shows up. Like, I don't... What the hell?
Like I said, she went to train on King... This is the sequel to Dragon Ball Evolution. She went and trained on King Kai's planet, and now she's back for a day.
And then all the characters kind of split up. So Samira is fighting David with her Celine blood powers that are not as strong as current Celine, who can teleport, but as strong as past Celine.
Yes.
And then Marius is fighting Celine, who has entered the basement of Tremors, where the tremor breaks through the wall, and there's just a wall of guns as it zooms out, and it's a joke.
Yes. Because she is just unloading on him with bigger and bigger and bigger calibers of bullets.
It's really funny, actually.
Yes. And he's just walking towards her. Because, again, they've shown him, like, from quite literal point-blank range, take hundreds of silver bullets and just go,
whatever.
I feel so bad for this actor because he is given just nothing to work with. Because
nothing.
Why is Marius... Like, does Marius want revenge for his killed lover? No. He never mentions her again.
What's his goal?
Where did he come from? He's got all these superpowers. There's a big hidden reveal. Like, what is it? Oh, well, she gets a little bit of his blood splattered on her and drinks it.
Accidentally.
Yep. And realizes his big twist is that he killed her lover from the other movies.
Michael.
Off screen. And you're like, and then he's been drinking his blood, so he's got all of his super vampire or werewolf abilities.
It's like an artificial ability, yeah.
But like, why? And how?
Well, anyway.
Anyway, that was the big reveal. It's a big reveal. It's...
Yeah. So David's fighting Samira at the same time in her, like, mirror room, which has the mirror that has the weird painting in it for some reason.
Yes. Also, sorry, just 1 second. What is Samira's motivation for taking all the power? She's already vampire queen.
Political power. She wants to take over the council.
But she's already on the council as their leader, leading the last coven that they can't...
Yeah, but that one time they said no. So now she needs to kill them and take over. And also, it's hot.
It's really hot. She wants to dom everybody, and that's really hot.
Yeah. So she's fighting David. David like throws something that hits the switch that opens up the shutters.
Yes.
To the room, and then the Alexa in the room, not the dead one, the Amazon Alexa, is like, Dawn alert, Dawn alert, the door, watch out, the window's opening, get out of the way, vampires, it's too bright out.
And even though she's a super fast, super skilled, super soldier vampire, she just stands there in the sunlight.
Yeah, and then she goes, wow, oh I'm not dying to sunlight. That's so cool. And then David just fucking stabs her through the head and kills her instantly. So, like, what?
They fucked up so bad on this. Like, that was actually really funny and a really good death. I actually thought that was kind of great because it was like, okay.
Because she's so distracted.
She's so distracted, which was actually, like unironically a good death. Like, it was actually kind of good, except for the fact that why didn't Fuckboy get to kill her?
The wrong character killed her.
Yeah. What the fuck
They could have made Fuckboy into like a major character in the series at this point and had him betray her and become Celine's friend. And also he blows David all the time now.
Yeah. Right? Like.
But they fucked it up.
And they bring like the most, because honestly, David is in a movie full of like total tabula rasa, like blank slate characters with no personality and no motivations. David is the most blank slate of all blank slates. That's why he's king. He's king of blank slates.
He's just a guy.
He is just so guy-coded. He's just dude. He's just the dude. And it's sad that they gave him the big moment. It sucks. It sucks so hard.
Justice for Fuckboy. Hashtag justice for Fuckboy.
I want the Fuckboy cut. Fuck the Snyder cut. Give us the Fuckboy cut. Butthole cut of Cats? Who cares? I want the Fuckboy cut of Underworld Blood Wars.
Speaking of Fuckboy, remember that cage he invented? So Celine and Marius find their way into the cage. And Celine's like having memories about her daughter for some reason. She's really thinking about daughter.
Well, you say for some reason, but the reason is, so she drank some of Marius's blood, which made her remember her lover, Michael, because he has Michael's blood. And so then she was like, oh, I'm not sad enough, though. I need to remember my daughter. So she bites her own hand to drink her own blood.
To drink her own memories.
To remember, remember more.
But why?
It's the fucking Ouroboros of memory. Like, just drinking
as Marius is like unloading punches on her.
Yes. Just beating the shit out of her.
Goku fashion.
Yes.
She gets sad enough to remember that she can teleport. She teleports behind him and then like stabs through his chest and his back and just rips out his spine in a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yo.
Literally, not a joke.
No.
And then drops his spine on the ground, and then they cut off his head.
It does literally look like a Mortal Kombat fatality, too. Like, when all of this movie looks very much like a video game, because it's all CG'd. Everything's just CG'd to hell.
And then they take the head of Marius out as the werewolves and the vampires and the peace-loving, non-violent vampires are fighting.
Yes.
And they're like, your leader is dead, here's Marius's head, go home in peace. And the werewolves are like, oh man, and they're like kicking rocks, and I can't believe
Kick a can down the road and like stumble out into the light.
And then the vampires break out the Gatorade for their post-fight like victory. And they start drinking from the Gatorade. Like, they're dumping one on the coach.
Yeah. We got like a blood Gatorade party.
And then it hard cuts to Celine back on the lake for some reason.
Yes.
In the ice wall. And she's monologuing about, there is no actual end. There's just coming.
There's just so much coming. Coming everywhere. Coming. Oh, the coming.
And then
we know, movie. We've seen.
And then it just ends. And you're like, what?
It shows her daughter, I think.
Her
think
daughter's
that's supposed to be her daughter.
But is her daughter actually showing up, or is it in her mind? I don't know what's happening. It's so fucking weird. Anyways, this is just another movie.
It's
in
the next
series,
installment in Underworld.
What the fuck?
So there's supposed to be a sequel to this. And Kate Beckinsale went, I am not doing another one of those. Oh my god, I'm fucking 51. And then she went...
this came out like 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
7 years ago, so it's like...
And then 7 years, 2017, I think. And then she was... And then she goes, actually, fine. They said they'd pay me more money. I guess money. I'll go. Yeah. Which was very funny to me. Because now she's like, all right, fine. I guess if they make another one and they pay me enough money, I'll do it. Fuck.
I know how they can make that work. Make Celine the mother, which she is, and let the daughter take over the series.
She's fucking 51. Let her rest.
Like, in universe, the daughter's got to be in her 20s now. So, I'm just saying, or put out another anime. One of the two.
Honestly, I think that they'd be way better served if they just did this as, like, an animated thing.
An animated thing would be way better, yeah.
Like, none of this is good, even, like plot-wise or anything. So, I mean, like, that, obviously, it's not going to get better there. But at least then you don't have, like... Because this movie is shot... Everything is basically like it's day for night.
Yes.
The night doesn't look like night, but the day doesn't look like day, and there's not really a whole lot of day, and it's just a really, really muddy, awful, dark look.
Like, even if you compare this to something like Blade Trinity, which is not a good movie.
No.
But Blade Trinity has so much more variety in the way it's shot.
Yes. This movie, they very much, it feels like the reason that everything's dark in some ways is like, yes, it's plot appropriate in a way, and they've got their style of like leather clad vampires and stuff, and they want to do that stuff. But it's also very convenient to cover up all of the really, really, really cheap effects.
Oh, yeah.
Because this movie had, again, half the budget of the last one. Like, it's barely dragging along for the types of big action sequences that they want. They don't have the budget for them anymore. Like
this is definitely a look at your phone movie, and nothing. You're not gonna miss anything.
This is the movie that like 16-year-olds are trying to get in on. I mean, like. Not anymore because modern, but basically you're trying to like, okay, like adjust the rabbit ears a little bit. Oh, look, you can see him going down on her. Oh my god. Like it's basically softcore porn. So it's like you trying to sneak it behind your parents to like.
And it doesn't even work for that because it's a rated R movie. So like you can't even, well, you can because of streaming. Yes. But you can't go to a theater to watch this. Right?
But you're trying, so. It's that kind of thing. Like it's very much, it's there for, you want to see. You don't really want to watch porn, but you kind of want to watch porn.
But you do think they're hot.
You do kind of want to watch porn, maybe. Kind of, yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, it's...
Well, I think we should probably rate the dog.
We definitely should, yes.
Yeah. David's not a dog, right? He's a vampire, so that doesn't
David's
count.
a vampire, so that doesn't count.
There's Marius.
Yes.
Who is Guy with motivation.
He has a scar. He has a really big scar on his face. So it's like mysterious and interesting.
Yeah. I think I don't this is a hard one to rate. I would rate Marius a chiseled chest out of 10. I think that's probably fair.
I would rate Marius a airbrushed chest out of 10 because that actor was not that shredded. That was all CG.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And then, all right, we do have another dog. I know that we said that vampires are not dogs. You're laughing. Why are you laughing? Anyways, it's Fuckboy.
I was also gonna say Fuckboy. Fuckboy's a very good dog. He follows orders.
Yep.
Probably wears a leash off screen.
Yeah. When you say heel, he absolutely goes instantly.
And he also knows the order of the pack. And when you're no longer the alpha, he's no longer your fuckboy.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So, that's a good dog.
So we're rating it a Sigma male out of 10.
Sigma male out of 10. I don't know about that.
This movie broke me.
I don't fucking know.
That's the podcast. Why did we do this one?
You picked it.
Kind of. I tried to pick other movies first, but we couldn't find Gooby in high enough quality.
Yeah, one day we'll find Gooby.
One day we'll see Gooby in glorious HD, and then we can have my real pick for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can check us out on social media. We have Blue Sky and co-host, where we're Rough Cuts. You can email us, roughcutspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd really like to help us, Boyk spent another bunch of money on this fucking movie again. So our Patreon is where we upload some like special clips and stuff sometimes. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. We do some early access releases and stuff as well. So you can always support us over there and get access to some extra things too.
Look, all I'm saying is stay tuned. Next episode will be the next installment of Rough Cuts. Guaranteed.